As we grow up and age, we learn things about our body, what makes us feel good, what is painful or uncomfortable, and what we can and cannot get away with doing. But there are loads of things many of us still don't know about our own bodies, so here's 10 of them.
Number 10.
Feet. While it's nothing to worry about, feet can grow towards the end of a person's life. Tendons and ligaments will wear out, which in some cases can cause the arches in your feet to flatten. This in turn will both widen and lengthen your feet slightly. There's a greater chance of it happening to those who are overweight or those who often have issues with swollen feet or ankles. But in reality, it will only be around one shoe size by the time you are in your mid to late 70s.
Number 9.
Old person smell. Have you ever been to an elderly person's home and noticed a particular smell or odor that you found unpleasant? Well, it's not a myth. Old people do really have a specific odor. The chemical causing this is called 2-nonenal and produces what's been described as an unpleasant, greasy and grassy odor. The chemical is more pronounced in old people, thus causing the smell. Overall, however, research suggests that old people have a less intense and unpleasant smell than middle-aged or young people do.
Number 8.
Nighttime toilet trips. Okay, so obviously there are exceptions to this, but generally speaking, there are neurons in your gut controlled by the body's circadian rhythm, which is the internal clock that makes you feel sleepy at night and wakes you up when it's light outside. This means that most people don't have the urge to go for a number 2 in the middle of the night. The bladder is not so lucky. I'm sure you've all woken up at 2 AM bursting for a pee, and that's because the bladder can only expand so far until it has to be emptied. If you drank lots of water before bedtime, or have certain medical conditions, you will be unpleasantly woken in the night.
Number 7.
Fingerprints. Apart from identification, for which it has been very useful in the last few decades, the use for fingerprints is not completely understood. Many experts believe it to help improve grip, but other studies suggest it actually does the opposite, since there is less contact surface area between the fingers and the surface. Some other theories are that fingerprints could help to remove water from our fingertips, or to allow our skin to stretch more easily, or even to improve our sense of touch.
Number 6.
Achy joints. Do you have any elderly relatives who strongly believe they can predict the weather based on the pain in their joints? Well, it turns out they may be onto something. Just before the bad weather, atmospheric pressure drops, which can apparently cause body tissue to expand. This can cause joints to swell and be painful. It's by no means a drastic effect, only very slight, but those who have arthritic or inflamed joints could tell the difference.
Number 5.
Hold your breath. All my life, I've been using this technique to stop hiccups from going on for ages. Simply hold your breath for maybe 30 seconds and voila, hiccups are no more. It is believed that this happens from carbon dioxide building up inside your body, which prevents your diaphragm from having a spasm, the usual cause of hiccups in the first place.
Number 4.
Teeth. Whether you've always had perfectly straight teeth, or, like me, you look like a shark that's been hit in the mouth with a bowling ball and had to get braces, your teeth will shift during the course of your life. This is mostly to do with the loss of bone behind the gums, which can happen to smokers, to those with gum disease, and just from general aging, in which case your teeth can shift.
Number 3.
The stitch. When running with a bit too much vigor, you can get a sharp stabbing pain around the lower part of your rib cage, which instantly wipes the smile off your face. The reason this happens is because your diaphragm takes a literal beating during a run, getting pulled, stretched, and bounced around until it has to remind you to take it easy. To make the pain go away, just slow down and control your breathing.
Number 2.
Smelly pits. Interestingly, sweat in itself is odorless. The reason your pits can smell like death after a workout is actually because of bacteria. You see, when your armpits and groin are sweating, an oily substance is released, which quickly becomes a feeding ground for bacteria. The process of the bacteria eating this substance is what releases that signature smell. You may be asking why other parts of your body don't have the same smell when sweaty, and it's because other parts of your body, like your arms and legs, don't release the same oily substance. Instead, they release mostly a mixture of just water and salt.
Number 1.
Wisdom teeth. There was a time when humans had to chew a whole bunch of plants to get the calories they needed to survive. Wisdom teeth were helpful to do this, as just 2 sets of molars may not have been enough. Of course, these days we don't have a requirement to digest loads of random vegetables, and so wisdom teeth are technically expendable. Especially so because for many people they actually cause a lot of problems. You see, it is believed that early human ancestors had larger jaws with more teeth and could easily accommodate wisdom teeth. However, as humans have evolved, their jaws became smaller, and yet wisdom teeth didn't stop coming out. Now many people don't actually have the space in their mouth for wisdom teeth, and so have to get them removed. They are also the hardest to clean properly. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing to stay up to date with new videos. Hit the dislike button if you didn't. Let us know in the comments below if you know anything about your body that most don't. See you next time.